Hey y'all, I'm Nikki Cates Miller. I am a transformation coach and life strategist. It is my passion to work with women who wake up and realize that they no longer recognize themselves or their lives. I've been there, maybe you can relate. It is my purpose to help them to reconnect with their true selves from the inside out, which will obviously transform their lives and help them to regain hope for their future. Today, what I want to speak about is self-discovery. We're edging closer to the end of the year, and I've learned that there's no better time to really focus on self-discovery besides the last few months of the year. If I had my way, I would take the whole month of December off. That is my goal as I build business and build life around that goal, and that hope for my life is to take the whole month of December, because typically our obligations in December tend to be for other people. But what I've transitioned into is focusing more on myself, like what's going on with me, what needs to shift in order to become who I need to become for the new year. And I've noticed that makes going into the year a lot better, because I'm entering the year the way that I should end it, the way that I should walk through it. So that's just a little tidbit for you all about how I've learned to evolve and to adapt this into my own life. But before we get into self-discovery, this actually kind of relates to it. I recently had the chance to listen to Jay Shetty's podcast with Jada, Pinkett Smith. Yes, I devoted a whole 2.5 hours to the whole interview. Regardless of our opinions of her and her family, I think that there was a powerful message or two that we could glean from that interview. So I wanted to go over that real quick because it does take you back to self-discovery. If you've ever spent a significant amount of time waking up wondering what happened to your life and even to yourself, surely you can relate to that. At least if you're a mother and a wife. I mean, honestly, just as even as a single woman, it's easy to lose yourself in your career, in your domestic life, in your relationships, in your service unto others. So that's why I felt like, as she was describing her journey, that I felt like it was familiar to my own. Jada spoke about her battles with depression and her journey to discover herself beyond society's expectations and the expectations of others. Obviously, when you're a mother and a wife, you already have massive amounts of expectations and obligations that are just comes with the territory, right? So she emphasized that her journey has come closer now to a place of authentic happiness because of her learning finally, after years of trials and tribulations, to heal from within, and getting to know herself and to love herself the way that God loves her through his eyes, and then being able to do that through her own. And that, my friends, is the incredible power of self-discovery. It can be a painful journey. It is a painful journey. When you actually have to see yourself for who you really are and no longer pass blame on people or circumstances or situations, it can be pretty painful. It's a lot of tears that go into that. But the healing and the growth that we experience from that is powerful, and it impacts not just us and our lives and our futures, but it impacts those that we love the most. Everything that I speak about, write about, and teach about is from my own journey of breaking free from self-hate, self-sabotage, and depression and anxiety. My transformation has not only benefited myself, though. It's also benefited my children, my daughters. It's benefited my husband and my marriage. It's benefited my family members, my siblings, my parents. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's all interconnected. I like to use the word holistic. Maybe that doesn't work in this instance, but it's all interconnected. And so everything that touches you is going to be affected by you. Okay? So that is why it's crucial that we dedicate the end of the year to this process of reflection and awareness and discovery. Because what I've learned is that obsessing over what didn't happen in the last 11 months or 10 months, whenever you decide to start this journey, and what may or may not happen in the next 12 that are coming, can be all consuming. But guess what? Here's the secret. All of that is external. You can't control what already happened, and you can't control what will and will not happen. Sure, you can set yourself up for success. You can align yourself with God's purpose and God's will and position yourself for his blessings and position yourself for results. But ultimately, you can't make it rain. You can't make it happen. So the only thing you really can control is what you do right now in this moment. And if you decide to embark on self-discovery, self-reflection, and self-awareness, I know it sounds like a lot of self in what I'm saying, but what I'm saying to you is it's not about vanity. It's not about selfishness. It's about management, better stewardship of who you are, God's beautiful creation in this world. Are you managing her properly? Because most of the time we're not, right? So self-discovery is about getting to know that person. Do you know who you look at in the morning in the mirror? I put it this way. If I were to ask you right now, who are you? Tell me about yourself. What would be your response? I know when I'm in an interview, I hate that question because in the past, the only thing I could think of was the roles that I played. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an administrator. These are the things that typically, if I asked you that question honestly, would it be filled with roles and titles, status and expectations of others, or would it be who you genuinely are? For me nowadays, who is Nikki? Nikki is a woman that stands firmly on her faith. Her faith means pretty much everything to her. Her family is most important after her faith. She is one that is adamant about having freedom of choice in life, and that she wants to bring that to her family and to anyone that she comes across, right? Authenticity is so important, and courage, because she's lived with fear for so long. Being courageous is very important to her. So these are just things that I know about myself through what I've done through my own self-discovery, my core values, setting up my vision for who I need to be in this world to accomplish what I have been here to accomplish. It has given me that ability to do that. And that's what self-discovery offers you, right? So self-discovery is the process of uncovering your divine purpose, true potential, and understanding your beliefs, values, goals, and what truly brings you joy and fulfillment. I think really that's the key right there. Joy and fulfillment and peace, okay? Because inner peace is also one of my core values. It is pertinent to have peace, because if not, you're not sleeping well. You're not taking care of yourself. You're miserable towards others. Like life is that much harder, It's more of a prison sentence instead of a journey that you're enjoying. It's something that we should develop a regular practice to pursue, because we are ever evolving and ever growing, right? Like plants. Either it's alive or it's dead. If it's alive, it's growing. And that's us as human beings. So as we approach the end of the year, it's the perfect time to reflect on the past year and what you've learned about yourself. What achievements are you proud of? What do you want to change? What should we focus on for the upcoming year? Allow yourself to have these conversations. Journal it out, write it out, speak it out, pray it out, whatever works for you. But do it, right? So listen, I want to point out that this is not about self-isolation. I've done that in the past too. I used to say I was taking time to reflect and prepare spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, but I was also isolating myself from people and life around me, almost like an excuse. What I've learned is there are ebbs and flows to priorities and boundaries, right? Maybe this time of the year, you lean more towards prioritizing yourself and your relationship with God and your relationship with yourself and your relationship with life and where you want to see that go, right? Prioritize self-care and self-reflection this time of year. Prioritize seeking God in prayer and in his word and figuring out what it is you should be doing moving forward. John Maxwell speaks of this in his book, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It's called the law of reflection. And he talks about how if we don't take time to pause and reflect, we won't grow from what we've taken in, what we've received, what we've encountered, right? Life is all consuming. Trust me, I know this. But it is so easy for us to get pulled in the vortex of that life and the obligations that come along with it. But this process is about developing a habit of also making important obligations to your spiritual and personal growth. Because your spiritual and your personal growth are the two areas that are going to affect everything across the board immensely. All right. So self-discovery can be a challenging journey. Yes, no doubt. But it's also incredibly rewarding. When we invest in understanding ourselves, we make wiser decisions about our lives. We set goals that align with who we truly are, our values, and we create a life that's genuinely fulfilling. And the only way to do that is when you don't base it off of everything else out here and you base it off what's in here. So knowing your core value sounds irrelevant, maybe. Usually when I bring it up to people, it sounds like a good idea, but then it's kind of like, yeah, it's not worth my time. Let me tell you, for me personally, when I established my core values, I was offered a peace that I have never had before, because then making decisions became a lot easier. Setting my priorities became a lot easier. Honoring myself, setting boundaries became a lot easier. And all of this became a norm because then I had clear indicators, my core values, to guide me along the way. So if you're looking to make transformative changes in the new year, I encourage you to prioritize self-discovery, okay? Let's see what else we have here. So back to Miss Jada. While we may not be able to fully relate to her lifestyle, past traumas, or other areas of her existence, right? We can relate to her struggles and her joys as a spiritual believer, as a woman, as a wife, as a mother. That's why I started the transformation circles on Meetup. Because if we look beyond the surface level, the things that make us different, and we focus on what makes us the same, the commonalities that we have as women, then we can put our differences aside and we can truly relate as women and support each other. So, with that said, I'll be hosting virtual workshops to aid your self-discovery journey going into 2024 in December. Establishing core values will be one workshop, and the other will be vision casting, where we'll solidify your big five for your vision, okay? I'm not talking about vision boards. That's not what we're doing here. But we are going to do an exercise to establish your top five to create your vision for 2024. Join my Global Women's Transformation Collective on Meetup. If you're in Orlando, Atlanta, or Tampa, you can also sign up for the local groups, okay? Those alternate month by month, in person and virtual. But you can still join the global, okay? Because the global is strictly virtual with people that aren't in those locations. So go there and you can sign up for the workshops through the Meetup group. I encourage you to also check out my website and blog. I pour out a lot of my heart in my writing. So please, I encourage you, if you're looking just for a word of encouragement, motivation, you're trying to understand transformation process more, please check that out. Also sign up for my email list. Stay in the know about upcoming events and my latest information. Consider liking, sharing, and subscribing, because I'm going to be committing myself to doing at least one video a week based off of the topics that I'm writing about, that we're discussing in our Meetup groups and so forth, okay? And I am looking to expand the transformation community, and I would love for you to be a part of it, because again, us walking this journey together is so much better than trying to do it alone. I can just tell you that I spent years in isolation and it got me nowhere. All right. So don't try to walk this journey to the better you and the better life, your best life, by yourself. I promise you, you're going to miss a big chunk of all of the fulfillment and the joy and the inspiration that you need if you isolate from others. I'm telling you that because I'm telling you what I know. That's why I created the communities to begin with. So, in closing, Pastor Darius Daniels says often, the greatest investment that you can make is the investment in yourself. Invest your time and energy in becoming the woman who lives the life that you dream of. And I'm telling you, ever since I first heard him say that, and I began to invest in myself instead of waiting on others to do it for me, my life has changed exponentially. Quantum leaps, as he calls them. And I wish the same for you. All right? So thank you for watching. See you next week. And let me know what you think. Hit me up. All right.